Hey, welcome back to the channel, gang. I'm Raven the Devil, and this is yet another video of some sort of rambling. And to start off with, I just wanted to touch on what happened yesterday. You guys all blew my mind. Well, I'm sure most of them didn't sign up because I didn't see an increase in subscribers or anything. But who would have thought a 2-year-old video that I did as a joke as a character being a grumpy old man through a real experience and do more views in that 1 2-minute video than I've done in the years I've had this channel. So, thank you for those of you who got irate. They weren't really irate, but they were funny. And I'll be telling stories, and I've got some props coming for salty, salty days ahead. But, as I said, Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays, I'm shooting for to be my days I release a video. And once again, I'm sitting in the console. No, I haven't been gaming today. I've actually been signing up for a Rumble page, which as soon as I figure out what the hell I'm doing and get some artwork made, I'm going to be using more often. So don't be surprised if you see me more there, sending them over here. Because there are things I want to say that, where I'm at right now, outside of these boxes, might get mad at some of the things I want to say. But today, I'm not going to get all weird, sarcastic, or strange, but there are 2 blogs up on the ravensedgepodcast.com, and some of these videos so far uploaded, including what I'm going to be doing today. So if you're interested in what I want to talk about, I'm going to be talking about another stage in my journey. What led me to becoming a DJ, so to speak, was already told. This one here is the more recent life change. So if that's something you're interested, stick around. And if you like what I've been doing so far, like, share, subscribe, and all that hullabaloo. And now I'm going to go back to being a grumpy old man for a minute. All right, I'm done. Anyways, so you've heard me talk about in a couple of videos now my accident. Now, I'm not going to tell that story today. Needless to say, in 1998, a teenage driver struck my work vehicle that I was a passenger in, and I was permanently wounded. But that's not the life change. This was a little bit further on. Now, in 2011, I lost everything. This is not that story either. It's just to say I was homeless from 2011 till just about 2017, 2018. And thanks to a lot of friends and former friends, I'm still here to annoy all of you. Anyways, that being said, back about 5 years ago now, and in current year, it is 2023, I went to the hospital for heart problems. I was having unexplained speed-ups of my heart. I'd already cut back on caffeine. I was pushing the 600-pound mark plus because the pain during my homelessness, because a lot of the times I slept on the floor, furniture, couches, a bed strapped to a wooden frame, thanks to some friends who really tried to give me a comfortable place to sleep instead of the couch. Some people's rooms, air mattresses, floors, back seats, you name it. I've slept in everything from a bus seat to a dumpster in my life. So, and under a tree. And that wasn't camping. That was by choice, actually. Those are stories I may or may not tell someday. But anyways, I went to the hospital, and I had one of the worst experiences of my life. And I'm going to tell this part first. You need to do something with your life when doctors stop listening to you. And when I went to the hospital 5 years ago, they kept me in the place for 7 bloody days. 7 days in the freaking hospital. Couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. Then they did have an MRI that would fit me. And they did an ultrasound finally, and then they let me go with nothing wrong with me. Just my heart was speeding up and things hurt, and I was getting dizzy and feeling like I was going to die. I did crack a joke back then, make a little video. It's like really strange that I was listening to my heart, the machine they were using. It sounded like the bed for an EDM song. But, neither here nor there. I have apparently really good blood pressure and resting heart rates. Now and then. But at that time, I was 625 pounds. And I could barely move anymore. I was using a cane for the majority of 20 years at that point, and blown out my left shoulder at work in Wyoming back a few years ago in 2014. And so I switched to my right arm, and things were getting really rough. And I was issued what I'm about to show you. So today, everybody, we're going to have show and tell. I was issued what became a good thing, but at the time I absolutely hated it. Expletive, hated it. I know it's a little close to the camera because I don't have a lot of room where I'm working, but a walker. Granny chair walker. Yeah. Leaning on it right now because this is how you would have seen me sitting down for 3 years. And then 2019 happened and I got married. And I looked at my wedding pictures at 600 pounds. I looked at me with my wife after the wedding with this walker. Now, my wife is significantly younger. Hey, I worked in music. I like younger girls. Sue me. It's going to keep me here longer. Whether you like that or not, hey, she likes me. She's the one that chose me. Anyways. Sorry, hon, throwing you under the bus there. But I decided I had a young wife. I didn't want a young widow. And no, folks, she wasn't in her 20s. She's in her 30s, almost 40 now. Still younger than my old ass by more than 15 years. So I made that decision then because I couldn't take the heart problems. I couldn't take the pain anymore. It was getting to the point where even I wanted to go back on opiates. From the doctor. All this is done with doctor's supervision. Everything in this story here on out, including to the day I posted on Instagram that I was starting physical therapy. And if I didn't do it on the internet, I wouldn't keep myself honest. And I get lazy. Hey, I did the vault of metal for almost 20 years. I'm used to talking about my crap online. So, one day I just had enough of this walker. It was maybe 2 years in, and I was barely mobile. I was getting heavier and heavier and heavier. I was getting almost to where I was at my heaviest. 5 years after the accident, I topped the scales at a size 72, 720 pounds. That was my biggest back in 2003. And I've been battling that bulge ever since, but I've never been able to break 350 pounds in any direction, and I have finally. But this thing here, this walker, it inspired me when the pandemic hit. Now, I'm not saying nothing about nothing here, so YouTube, back off. I'm not trying to talk about the coof. I'm talking about what they said it was going after. COPD, diabetes, and obesity. Well, I don't have diabetes. I don't have COPD. Thankfully, after 4.5 packs a day for 17 years, yeah, the DJ used to chain smoke when I was doing the radio for like 16 hours a day. It was horrendous. I can only imagine what I used to smell like. Yeah, you may call me what you want for vaping. But at least now I don't smell like a dumpster outside of a tobacco shop. You know, the one they dump the ashtrays in. Anyways. So, I got this amazing doctor. I don't want to out him. And if he happens to be watching this, Dr. S, he's a godsend. He was a resident when I got him. He was young and he cared. This guy really cared. I made him laugh. I love my little doctor. I love him. He reminds me of Colin Baker when he was Doctor Who. He really does. And I've told him as much. But now that he's a doctor, he's, he can't have the curly hair and everything. And we joke about me going bald and him being bald in his 20s. And he really cared. He listened. But this incident prior happened before this. And this doctor I had in UPMC here, and I'm outing you, UPMC here in Pittsburgh. This guy came in, and he was from India or something like that. And he goes, I'm the head of gastroenterology, oncology, and cardiology. My wife was standing right next to me. And my folder is open. And now in 1988, I'm going to tell this story soon. In 1988, I volunteered for the gastric bypass by force of will. I made my parents let me get it. Because I wanted to be a teenager and have girlfriends. I would use better language like I used with the shrink, but this is YouTube. Anyways, this doctor opened up my file, and the first thing I tell everybody, because of this bloody surgery I've had for 35 years, I have one. And his first thing he looked at me and says, have you ever thought about weight loss surgery? Now, if you're a fan of Gabriel Iglesias, you know the 5 levels of fat. I hit 6. I was damn. That was the moment I realized it. It took me another year and a half to get a better doctor. But working with Dr. S, I went into physical therapy. Did the most embarrassing thing I've ever had to do. Now, I've been heavy most of my life, and even when I wasn't, I've been self-conscious about my torso. You know, I grew up in the 80s. I believe in fat shaming. It's why I keep trying. It's why I've done what I've done. I don't think some level of bullying is a bad thing. And if you don't like that, you can send me all the hate mail you want, but I'm used to it. And you're like adding sprinkles to a sundae at that point. So take what you will from that. It's in the blog. Cheap ad place for website from host. Anyways, you know, I decided this was enough, and then we went to physical therapy, and I was doing water therapy, water exercises in a pool with people, and a giant window leading into a gym full of young, good-looking people exercising. And I went with my t-shirt and my bathing suit and was told I could not do my physical therapy in a t-shirt. I had to go topless. That's 625 pounds. What do you guys think I did? I'll wait if you want to comment now at the 12-minute and 42-second mark. I took off my shirt and got in after a panic attack. That's what I did. Because the goal is more important than my ego. Now, I'm a diva back in the days of the Vault of Metal. Ask anybody. Anybody. And I mean anybody. From the Classic Metal Show, who I was an affiliate with, to the DJs on Hard Rock Radio Live I've already talked about. You either were with me or you were underneath my feet. That was about how I worked. I was trying to do something. I believed in the internet media before anyone else did. So you're welcome. Those of you who remember me and those of you who make money now at it, I fought when everybody thought it was a joke. But unfortunately, I didn't have the resources to stay afloat to get to this point as all of them. But, you know, whatever, not bitter. I've had a good time. But back to the story. So I've been doing physical therapy, and I went through a situation with physical therapy. I'm getting ready to go back because I love my doctor who has a sense of humor. They kicked me out for the exercises I was doing because I had to do them for as long as I could to try and get better because my insurance would pay for it. And well, then one day the physical therapy attached gym place, the overall manager said, no, he's been coming too much. And I was dealing with pancreatitis. And if you're going to the bathroom in certain ways, you can't get in a pool in a public space, as people probably well know. And so I would have to cancel appointments because I just couldn't get out of the bathroom because of pancreatitis. And if you get pancreatic cancer, you know you get it, you die. And you're probably going to hear background, someone's coming through the door. Anyways, back to the story. So physical therapy kicks me out, tries to make me join the gym. I tell them to get bent, come home, and keep doing it. Now, 3 years later, I've lost over 300 pounds. So I still walk with this. Helps me get up, too. You know, I'm a cripple. Yes, I use the word cripple. I use the word handicapped. I am not differently abled because I never wasn't able to do everything else. I just can't walk as fast. And the thing I learned most from this entire 25 years I've been walking with this. Sorry, skull canes look cool, but they're just not practical when you're over 50. If you slow down and stop worrying about the world around you and start worrying about all the things that they try to tell you are important. Because I used to get wrapped up in all social media stuff. I walked away for 5 years and whoo, was that nice. So I'm back now because y'all lost your minds. So I'm coming to add a little salt to the popcorn. And I used to let these devices defeat me. Think there was something wrong with me. Somehow think I wasn't able to be a normal person again. You drop 300 pounds, you lose what more than most people will ever weigh in their entire lives. It's interesting what you kind of conclude to. And, I've been a screw-up most of my life. And I should also clarify, I've said this a couple times, I was an angry teenager, and I was. But don't ever let it think I'm implying I had bad folks. My parents were amazing people. My father worked hard, my mother made sure the house. I had the typical hard-working dad and mom stayed home, but I also got to live in Europe because of it. I lived in nice homes because of it. I went to good schools because of it. I'm not a waste case. This is by choice. This is all my choice. So don't ever let you think some of these bad stories I tell, I'm throwing my folks under the bus. They did everything. The reason I'm still alive is because of what I learned from them. And my dad was in his 80s when he died just a few years ago. Yeah, my dad was 40 when I was born. So different world for me growing up. Most of my friends' grandparents were my parents' age. Anyways, thing is, I used to let these devices slow me down. And they still do because I can't walk like most people. I spend most of my life in chairs. But I'm still here. Again, maybe this is a asterisk to the first hero's journey. I don't let these things stop me. They're just how I get to my next stage. And failure and all that aside, you just learn how not to do something twice. These things are here to help me get through to the next step. When I'm done with that, we'll see where this goes. But don't lose hope of your dreams, because you know what? Just because I got broken, just because this accident happened, I've had to walk with a cane. I started out just a occasional club level stagehand for the people that I got a chance to meet, and doing side jobs between that, to 8 years of some really great stuff with my show, The Vault of Metal. Syndication, travel in the country, the real radio show, doing terrestrial radio on that and the Friday Night Party Machine, and filming a TV pilot with Chubby Checker. May not have been the most metal thing, but it was flipping cool to me. Sometimes you just got to keep going. Your dreams change. You get older. You slow down. You appreciate more. I guess that's the message today. Just because life throws you curveballs, or might try to throw salt in your wounds, they're just here to make you stronger. You might have needed to hear something like that. I know some people off the last serious one said they appreciated it, and you're welcome. Thanks everybody for the comments. But seriously with this one, it's okay to slow down. It's okay to take your time in life. It's okay to fail. But at the end of the day, if you're waking up, it's a good day. That's my true mantra to life. And I didn't let these things stop me. These aren't forever. Maybe between my DDP yoga and some more physical therapy and gym time, I won't need this anymore. Just don't let whatever's stopping you stop you. Get back out there. Get back up on it. I'm from Gen X. Nobody wants to hear from us anyways.